Thank you very much. Hello everyone, this is Rick with XYZ Modeling and Graphics. If you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe to join our model building community. Today we are continuing with month 15, issue number 59. So as always, we're going to zoom straight to the build. And we begin by opening up our packaging and inventorying our parts and pieces to make sure everything is present and accounted for and that there's no damage to any of our parts. I want to welcome everyone back that have been joining me so far with this build. And we are continuing with the final wing and focusing today on the upper port engine. And as most of you already know, this is one of the more tedious assemblies that we have dealt with so far with this X-Wing build. And as you can see, I am using a little bit of CA glue just to ensure those two halves of the engine stay tightly together and are not a risk of falling apart. But in keeping with my commitment to use very little CA glue with this wing, I will continue that standard. Now here we go, removing the lid from the container. And I want to point out, I haven't realized it yet, but when I pulled the lid off, there was one part stuck to the lid there and that I did not notice. And I do discover it later on, but I know I've mentioned that a few times. Just make sure that your pieces are not sticking to that lid when you pull it off. Or don't throw the lid away until you're absolutely certain anyway. So this being our fourth engine, there aren't really any surprises coming our way. So with that being said, I'd like to take some time to go over some of the comments I received from my last video. And I'm going to start off with Beckzach Lit. About 3 days ago, he new subscriber and just says, "Hello, Patrick the Hut from Australia." Hello. I hope it's kind of tricky to pronounce some of these account names, but hello. Thank you for subscribing and welcome. I hope you stick around for the entirety of this model build. So the next comment I'd like to go over is from my good buddy Larry Goodnight from Maui. Hey Larry. He writes, "Hi again, Rick. Your Falcon looks great. The details are the difference for sure. I am working on wrapping up the Back to the Future DeLorean and have gotten pretty much all of the Mike Lane decals. Although many are small and not in your face, they do give a certain reality to the model that was not there before. I will be looking into some of those kind of details with this model as well now that you have me thinking about the dry rubs. Mahalo as always." Thanks for the compliment, Larry. Yeah, the dry rub decals are definitely something that I like. The Mike Lane decals, I'm not familiar with those, but I assume there are custom decals for the Back to the Future DeLorean. And that looks like a fun build. I would like to see that when it's finished. But thanks, Larry. And we'll get to those dry rub decals probably in the next 2 or 3 videos after I've gotten through this wing. Now at this point in the engine build, I wanted to point something out. The magazine now suggests that you put those rectangular pieces into place prior to attaching the manifold pieces, the piping that we last completed in month 12, issue 46. And if you remember from that issue, they wanted you to attach those pipes first and then connect it to the engine. And I had mentioned that I thought that was difficult and that I preferred to put the triangular or correction, rectangular pieces on first and then add those pipes. And it's just interesting that they are now recommending the same thing. So I'm wondering if somebody from DeAugustini is actually listening to us, the customers, on how we prefer to put this model together. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting. And I do want to point out as well that I did not use any CA glue to make these connections, and these pieces fit very well together. I was very happy to see that. And it felt like the whole process went a lot smoother. I don't know if it is my imagination or just because we've done this 3 times before and I knew what to expect, but it did seem to come together a lot easier. And hopefully it will for you as well. So let's move on to my next comment from Mordraka09. And Mordraka tells me Corsair had different color schemes that are shown only on the logos of the vehicles. For different divisions, the colors are green. For the smuggling interdiction division, red is for the tactical response team, orange is special operations, and the uniforms for all the Corsair officers are brown and burnt orange. All I can really say to that is, wow, you obviously know your stuff when it comes to the Corsair storyline. It'd be interesting to know where you're getting this information. I totally believe what you're saying. I haven't been so lucky to find this information or this much information about it, but it is very good to know that green is actually a valid color. And I would really be interested in knowing where you're sourcing this information, because I would like to try to get the right shade of green, if you know what I mean. So any resource you can point out to me to where I can get a more accurate color to paint with would be much appreciated. Thank you very much, Mordraka. So the next comment we're going to get to is my good buddy Martin. Hey, Martin. Martin writes, I for one love how the parts come together. He likes the monotonous, repetitive, boring, and even he tells me once in his job he had to watch paint dry. I assume he meant literally, and I feel sorry for you there, buddy. Your comments on camera to our comments questions lifts your videos above other builders, as some tend to get bogged down in the build and leave answers rather unattached from the personal touch you seem to offer. Well, that's very nice of you to say, Martin. I appreciate that. He says, interesting info on the transfers. Look forward to more details. Takes me back to the Letraset days. I'm not sure what that means. And then he goes on to say, and your use of the term sprue, which you cut your screw covers parts from, is colloquially correct but technically incorrect. Runner, tree, or frame being more accurate, said the pedant. I'm not sure what that word means. Small detail, but gets my goat. I use that term sprue because that is what DeAugustini uses as a term, but runner or tree, I've heard those terms as well, but if I'm not mistaken, DeAugustini uses the term sprue, so don't blame me, man. Okay, so he also says keep up the fine work, and he enjoyed my Lego Star Destroyer speed build, and he trusts that I have a big shelf for that. Actually, I have that on display at my office, so I've got a Super Star Destroyer Lego that I have as well there. So here's a picture of it if you want to see. This is my office, and as you can see, I've got the more recent Star Destroyer on the right and the older Super Star Destroyer on the left that I built about 4 or 5 years ago. Well, thank you very much, Martin, for the kind words, and I'm glad that you're enjoying the channel and our little interactions here. I enjoy them as well. So back to the build here. You saw me use a little bit of CA glue. And what I did there, I just brushed those contact points just to make sure these pieces hold firmly into place. They're such small contact points, I just want to add a little bit of extra insurance. Okay, next up is Jose Naro. Hello, Jose. Jose writes, hello, Patrick. Thank you for your kind comment, and I will keep following you and your channel. Says he just started here today, and it arrived, or issue number 2 arrived, and he is about 56 issues behind me. So, yeah, that's quite a ways back, Jose. But you'll get there. You'll get there, buddy. Keep working on it, and I hope you have fun with it. And thank you for following this channel. Hope you'll get some good ideas, and it'll help you a little bit along the way. All right, next up is Michael Mitchell. Hello, Mike. Mike writes, don't know about ships, though only sci-fi starship I'm going to try to light sometime this year is the AMT Clear USS Yamaguchi from Star Trek, though I do have a lot of Bandai Star Wars kits. Excellent. I know which ship you're talking about, that AMT Clear USS Yamaguchi, sorry. I know exactly which one you mean. It's very interesting lighting that goes into that ship. So that looks like a lot of fun. Let's see. You say you have a lot of Bandai Star Wars kits too, which I'm assuming you mean the snap together type kits. Which I don't know about you, but I think they're really good. There's a lot of detail to those kits, and I have that AT-AT Walker that I really enjoy. And it's on display in my living room, or in my my rec room, I should say. But thanks for the comment, Michael. Appreciate it. Next one is from Andy from South Yorkshire, England. Hello, Andy. Andy writes that he's really looking forward to seeing the green X-Wing. Thank you. I'm very interested in the dry decals too, so would love to see you do these and maybe a comparison to water slide decals. I'm currently on issue 21, and I'm planning on painting mine in maybe a cross between a racing X-Wing like an anti-gravity racer from the Wipeout game, early stages. I tried making videos myself, building, but it's not as easy as it looks, so hats off to you. Now I plan to upload a photo slideshow once I've finished. Thank you for sharing your build with us, and thank you, Andy. I appreciate all the compliments you've given me. As far as the dry rub decals, I will be putting a video out. It'll probably be my 3rd video, so thank you, Andy. Okay, we are wrapping things up here. I'm just now finishing the last little CA glue application on this engine, and I think we are good to go for stage 59, issue number 59, and we'll see you very soon for issue number 60. Thank you, everyone, and take good care.